I'm working on the quarter window molding and rubbers on 69 Cutlass, and I looked for some videos for this online. I didn't see a lot. I saw a few of some people struggling and trying different things. I first got this molding channel with this rubber piece that comes with it and slides over the edge of the glass. I tried this 2 or 3 times and I could slide it off after an hour. So I had no trouble getting it on there, but it just pried off. So I'm going back to a tried and true way I used in the past. Before anybody gets into debates about using urethane or liquid windshield adhesive versus butyl, this isn't the place for that. I'm going to tell you that this is the one that came off of this window. This was put on 30 years ago with butyl tape. I had to pry the thing off, and I still had to clean stuff off the edge of the window. So that's the way I'm going to do it. Hopefully this helps some of you guys out. I've got my window. I've refurbished all the mechanism, everything else. I have cleaned everything that I can off this edge. I've got a variety of cleaners here, acetone, other spray cleaners, a windshield cleaner of your choice, preferably something that doesn't have a fragrance or leave some kind of residue. Keeping my fingers off the edge of this as much as I can. And then I've got some butyl tape. This is 3/8 of an inch. I've seen a lot of people say that's too much, it squeezes out. It does. I want it to do that. I will trim off the excess very carefully and very easily. I took a pair of scissors, cut a piece of this butyl, I'm going to call it rope even though it says tape because it is fairly round, to the length of my channel and a little bit longer. I'm going to stick this butyl tape along the edge of the window where that molding piece is going to go. I do not want to get it over the top edge. I want to keep it pretty even with the top edge. It does not need to go over the top. So it'd normally be sitting this way. I've also got the rubber stay or trim piece, weather strip for this, and I'm going to slide this right in after we're done. So I'm going to try and do this all in one shot. Again, a lot of people have trouble getting these things in. Hopefully I'm going to show you something that helps you. Here we go. Butyl tape. I'm going to go right down the edge, try and keep it relatively centered. Trying not to rub my fingers all over this because your fingers have oils in it. So just enough to kind of hold it into place. And my metal trim piece is actually going to stop right about here and does not go around this curve. It sticks a little ways away from it. It doesn't matter. I'm going to not peel this paper off the back yet. I'm going to press this down so it's fairly centered on here, and I've got an even amount on both sides. A lot of people are like, let's take it to a glass company, let's do this, let's do that, let's do the other. Save yourself some time, learn something about it, do it right. You will not have to do it again for 30 years unless your window breaks. Basically, I want a little bit of this to squeeze out on both sides, so I try to get it relatively even. I'm not crushing it down. I am just sticking it on there enough to stay in place. I'll go ahead and peel that little tape backer off of it, the paper backer. I'm going to set this here for a second. I've got dish soap of choice. I'm going to put a little bit of this on my fingers, and then I'm going to get my fingers wet with that. And I'm going to go over the outside edge of this. Some people are like, don't get it wet, it won't stick. The water in the soap dries out, the butyl still adheres. 30 years, I can tell you it works. So I've got about a drop or two of this on my fingers. Smush it around a little bit. I don't want to use just soap because it won't evaporate as easy. My fingers are slick. I'm going to go right over the edge of all this butyl. Wipe my fingers off because I don't like sliding while I'm trying to put the chrome on, and I certainly don't want this piece of glass to slide out of my hands and down onto the floor. I do have a towel down here, gives it a little bit of grip. Put that up like so. I would also suggest dry fitting all of this stuff. Well, unfortunately my video cut out right as I was about to put this chrome piece on. What I did was got some soapy water on my fingers, a couple drops of your favorite dishwashing soap, shoot them with a little bit of water, and then go over that butyl with it just on your fingers. You don't want to do just soap, mix it with a little bit of water so it's just greasy enough. Wipe your fingers off so you're not working with a slippery window or slippery fingers or anything like that, and you put that chrome piece on and you slowly start to press it on. If you've got that glazed with a little bit of soapy water, it should slide on very easily. After that, I took it and I pressed it down into this towel I have down here on my table, and I give it a good press, and I'll slide it back and forth. So we're going to pretend I just put this thing on. I'm going to slide it, give it some pressure. You don't have to kill it, just enough to get it going. That's going to take you about 30 seconds to a minute if you did this right. I always triple check it. Remember, there is no butyl on this top edge. It just comes down to glass up there. It's going to kind of squeeze in where it needs to be. If you did this right, that butyl is going to squeeze out on both sides of this. You're going to have a little bit of a edge to trim off of. And if this were stuck on the edge, squeezed out, it'll be on both sides like that. I simply come along it with a sharp razor blade and lightly go through it. And as I'm going through it, I peel this edge up and trim it away, right up along the edge of the chrome. I'm not putting any pressure to speak of on this blade. I do not want to scratch my glass. I don't want any ridges in it. I don't want to slip or anything like that. So that's going to take patience. That'll take longer than putting the chrome on. After that, we got the rubber weathered stripping piece. And a lot of people struggle with this. Honestly, I would probably let this sit for a while, make sure it's on there good and tight before you get the rubber trim piece on. Because if something slides off or it doesn't work properly or dry up or cure, you're going to want to take this piece out. You just want to use the chrome on this to get it into place so you can press on it. You don't want to bend this in. So after this cures up 3-4 hours or overnight, go ahead and put this on. A lot of people struggle with this. Here's how I do it. A little bit of favorite soap again. I got like a drop or two on my finger. This is water. And you could have a little tray of water or something like that. I'm going to take this soap, run it up and down both sides, just lightly with whatever's on my finger. Shoot that with some water. Go up and down the edge. I kind of get my fingernail down in the groove. Same thing on the other side. And again, still right here. I always wipe my fingers off because I don't want to be slipping and sliding with this glass in my hand. You've already dry fit this at one point, so you know it fits, or you know you're going the right side at least. You didn't have to stick it all the way in. There's little grooves on the inside of this channel piece. I'm going to slide this down this groove, and here's how easy this goes on. Just like that. You're like, wow, that's way too easy and it's going to fall out of there and slide out. It's not. What's going to happen is that soap and water is going to evaporate. The rubber will regain its tensile strength and stickiness, and it'll lock right into place where it goes. Right now, if you have to tear this off again, that will slide out of there relatively easy. You also notice that I put this upside down, so the top of the chrome piece and the window is down on my table and towel. That is to make sure that if it's not tight or something's going on, I'm not pressing this chrome strip off. Again, if you did this right, it shouldn't be moving anyways. Hopefully this helps some of you guys out.